Indonesia Central Bank, Bank Indonesia, has confirmed, that in a matter of days, there has been a capital outflow of 12.5 trillion rupiah, or around $862.5 million. Now, this massive capital outflow occurred from the 29th of November until the 2nd of December. Well, this 12.5 trillion rupiah in capital outflow, which occurred in just a matter of 4 days, includes the selling of 9.82 trillion rupiah in government bonds and a 2.68 trillion rupiah sell-off in the Indonesian stock market. This capital outflow was one of the factors why the Indonesian rupiah has continuously weakened against the US dollar for the past 12 days now. During early Monday's trade at around 9:11 a.m., the rupiah even dropped to its lowest level since the 20th of August, reaching a value of 14,435 rupiah per dollar. The rupiah has been pressured by uncertainties surrounding the Omicron variant and also the Fed's possible move to taper or slow bond asset purchases sooner than expected, as these two factors has led to a massive capital outflow from Indonesia. Now, the U.S. Federal Reserve, or the Fed, will announce their monetary policy on the 15th of December, as many are expecting the Fed to speed up their plans to taper off asset purchases. Many are also expecting the Fed to raise interest rates sooner than expected, as inflation in the U.S. has reached the highest level in the past 30 years. Meanwhile, there has been a trend in government bond sell-offs by foreign investors in Indonesia, as over 23 trillion rupiah in government bonds were sold by foreign investors from the 1st to 15th of November. And to discuss more about these recent capital outflows from Indonesia, the performance of the rupiah, and all the factors behind all this, we are going to discuss with Joshua Pardede, who is the chief economist from Permata Bank. Hi, Joshua. Thank you so much for joining us again on Jakarta Movers and Shakers.
Thanks for having me, Krishna.
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, there was 12.5 trillion rupiah in capital outflow from the 29th November to 2nd December. Can you explain to our viewers in more detail the factors behind this, and should we be worried?
Yeah, I think what we've seen in the last week, there are, I think, three factors that affecting rupiah depreciation in the last couple days. The first one is the surging, or we also seen about the uncertainty regarding the Omicron variant of COVID-19, and the second one is the risk-off sentiment was driven by Jerome Powell's statement last week regarding their plan, the Fed's plan to accelerate the tapering sooner than expectation before, could be ended before July 2022, and it implies that the Fed has a chance to raise interest rate in the next year, particularly in the second semester next year. And the third one is regarding to the Moody's statement regarding the Indonesia's economic forecast next year. If there is a downside risk to the economy, it will bring some negative impact to the fiscal, and it will imply that the Moody's will likely to examine the ratings. So basically, those are the three risk-off sentiment coming from the external and from the domestics, and that's why we can see currently that the IDR bond yield increased significantly last week. 10-year bond yields increased around 17 basis points, and it turns out that the foreign investors book net sales on IDR government bonds and also both in stock market. So I think that's the reason why rupiah depreciated.
All right, now talking about the capital outflows, though, as I was mentioning, 12.5 trillion in just 4 days, and in November there was also capital outflow from government bonds as well, about 23 trillion rupiah. Is this worrying, do you think? Is this a worrying amount?
No, I don't think that. I don't think it's worrying, because on the one hand, foreign investors decrease their ownership on IDR government bond, but on the other hand, banking sectors and also Bank Indonesia and also insurance and also pension funds increase their ownership on either government bonds, meaning that although the foreign investors pull out temporarily from either government bonds, but from the domestic investors itself, I think we still believe that Indonesian economy still the fundamental of the Indonesian economy has to be better compared to 2013. So I think there is no significant changes, yeah, from the domestic investors' perspective currently, and I think it will manage the rupiah, yeah. Although rupiah since November tended to be volatile, more volatile compared to previous periods, but I think rupiah currently, I think by the end of this year will be capped, yeah, below 14,500.
Right. So what you're saying is, despite all these external factors, do you see the rupiah weakening even further in coming weeks in a worrying manner, or will it only cap at 14,500?
Yeah, again, from the first factor related to the Omicron variant, I think the investors still examine, yeah, whether the development in research on this new variant will likely impact significantly to the economy, and it will imply that the cases will likely resurging again. And then the second one related to the Feds. I think all eyes will on the this month FMC meeting. Then this will also depend on release of November inflation data. Yeah, in the next days, I think investors will look at the U.S. inflation data, and then if the inflation data coming out is better than expectation, yes, I think there is a higher possibility that the Fed will realize that to accelerate the tapering process, and this implies that the Fed will raise interest rate in the second semester. So I think there is a possibility for weaker rupiah going forward, yeah. But I still believe that Bank Indonesia is still in the market in order to stabilize the rupiah and also in order to stabilize in the bond market. Then don't forget that the next year there is a burden sharing program between government and also Bank Indonesia. Right. So I think we still believe that from the supply risk, I think it will be decreasing, yeah, compared to condition where there is no burden sharing program.
Okay, right. So you're saying there are many factors involved. Of course, we have to wait for the Fed meeting on the 15th of December and such. But as we know, the rupiah has been declining or not strengthening against the rupiah, against the dollar for, I think, about 12 days now. So in this very short term, do you see the rupiah kind of weakening further in the days to come, or what is your projection?
Yeah, I think there's technically, I think, yeah, could be higher or could be low, dollar rupiah could be higher than 14,500. But I think looking at its fundamental again, I think we still believe that BI is still in the market. So I think rupiah will be maintained, manageable around 14,400 until 14,500. And we also note that the foreign investors' ownership, the contributions currently is around less than 20%, maybe about 20%. I think compared to 2013 taper tantrum, I think the foreign ownerships currently will not impact to the huge capital flight from either government bond. So I think there is a less probability, less likely that rupiah will weaken, yeah, beyond 14,500 per dollar.
Right, and previously we were talking about Bank Indonesia's measures as well. Could you just tell us in more detail, because Bank Indonesia said they're very confident they can maintain the rupiah stability. Can you talk to us more about that in more detail?
Yes, because Bank Indonesia's analysis, yeah, on real effective exchange rate, actually rupiah currently is undervalued, yeah. It means that if we look at the fundamental of the Indonesian economy, rupiah should be appreciated. But because of the short-term risk of sentiment, yeah, coming from Omicron, coming from the Fed tapering, and from the latest statement from Moody's, actually rupiah was driven by more driven by sentiments. Yeah, so that's why rupiah currently weakened, yeah, against dollar. And I think not only rupiah, yeah, other than that, rupee and also Thailand baht also depreciated against dollar, US dollar. And again, Bank Indonesia also mentions regularly that BI will do triple intervention on the bond market itself, and the second one from the spot dollar rupiah, and the third one is from derivative market on dollar rupiah. So I think basically when BI mentions regularly that, I think there is no there is small room, yeah, for speculation coming from the market. So I think Bank Indonesia will likely manage rupiah to be stable within its fundamental level.
All right, so just talk to us. In light of all this, what is the best step for investors in Indonesia to take in the coming days or weeks to come?
Yeah, I think we still have to be cautious, yeah, regarding the Fed's announcement for the related to the Fed's tapering process until mid of next year. And then the second one, I think we still need to believe, yeah, we need to capitalize the downtrend in the downtrend in the bond price currently, because the foreign investors book net sales. Yeah. So I think this is the chance to take that opportunity, right, because the capital gain going forward, I think we still believe that the interest rate differentials and also the yield differentials between either government bond compared to the US Treasury, I think still attractive. And also if we compare to other peers in ASEAN, also we are still attractive. So I don't think there will be further depreciating or further weakening in the bond market.
Okay, so it's time to go into government bonds, as you said. Now, just very quickly, about 10 seconds to confirm yes or no. Previously, you were saying by the end of the year, the rupiah, although it will weaken, it will cap at about 14,500. That's what you're saying?
Yes, because we still believe that this current risk of sentiment will be temporary. And looking at the Indonesian economy fundamental, we still believe rupiah will be around 14,400 and 14,500 by the end of this year. And then we also factor in that Bank Indonesia will do regularly the triple intervention in order to stabilize rupiah exchange rate.
Okay, Joshua, Chief Economist from Permata Bank. Thank you so much for giving us your insights and your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joshua.